Welcome back into First Strike here on Sports Money. The combat crew is ready to go for you guys with UFC Vancouver. And we're going to give you guys three fights that we really like in the RDR Brendan Allen battle here this weekend. Spoiler alert, if you parlay all three of them, it's about 7-1. And the reason I reference that is we came off a board sweep last week here. 3-0 for the squad. We've been building, and we finally broke through with a big weekend. And it was a great card last weekend. Great Dana White Contender Series this week as well. But we're here. We're going to do some action with you guys here tonight and talk about the three fights you see on the side of the screen. We'll start with MMA Jeff. We'll get to Subhuman Gaucho. But Jeff, are you ready for some UFC Vancouver?
Absolutely. After the Contender Series yesterday, I'm thrilled for it. The Canadians, they always seem to be good battles. The male Canadians don't seem to do too well, so we'll see what happens this week. But yeah, I think there's some good matchups on the card, and I'm looking forward to it.
Subhuman Gaucho, looking forward to hearing your breakdown on the curtain jerker. My man's back to give us a curtain jerker breakdown. How you feeling, Sub?
Yeah, I hit the great run on curtain jerker, so yeah, we're trying to get back behind that. I think this is a pretty fun card. I talked last week about how I thought Rio was, the best betting card of the year. Everybody ate on that one, man. I mean, what an amazing Saturday there down in Brazil. I think this one is good from a betting perspective. Maybe not Rio level, but from a fan perspective, I think this is a really fun, fight night in a kind of destination spot where you don't see a whole lot of fight nights. So yeah, I'm excited for this one, both from a betting perspective, but especially from a fan perspective. A lot of fun fights, man. I think it'll be a fun Saturday evening here on the Sports Money Network.
Yeah, it's an interesting breakdown because they've got a 4 p.m. start, 4 p.m. East Coast time, but we all know Vancouver doesn't fall on the East Coast. So definitely potential body clock issues that these guys will have to face as we break them down. Yeah, they share the same time zone, I think, as Las Vegas, but don't fact check me on that. But at the same time, it's still an early start time. So I always love the early cards because it gets us going. But hey, there's been quite a bit of shuffle in here. The dominoes are starting to fall as they look at RDR in a schedule, a fluffy RDR battle that turns into Brandan Allen. And they were talking about the opportunity to fight for the strap after that. So we might have to see a miraculous finish by RDR to get that opportunity. Nonetheless, it's going to be a great card as we always look to get that cash and extract that money to try to beat the books with you guys. So we're going to start with MMA Jeff. He's going to take us into his fight. Jeff, talk to us about how you're getting paid.
Yeah, we got the Gibson Aoriqileng fight. It's going to be an interesting bantamweight bout. Both fighters have plenty of ring experience, as you can see the records there on the screen. Gibson, 38 years old. He's about 3 inches taller and about a 2-inch reach advantage. He's 21-11 as a pro, but 3-6 in the UFC. He's coming off a second-round submission loss to Blackshear back in March, making him 2-3 in his last 5. There's no shame in losing to Blackshear. He's a hell of a fighter. With the experience that Gibson has, Blackshear, in my opinion, is a better fighter. So there's really no shame in losing to him. Gibson, he's labeled as a wrestler by Foundation, but he is a standard striker. He's willing to throw volume. He can defend takedowns. He can certainly get takedowns and get the opponents to the mat. I personally think the matchmakers did a great job with this one, with how they scheduled this fight. It's on the main event. It's the second card on the main event. So I think we're going to see some action. Both fighters are pretty comparable in style and skill. You got Aoriqileng on the other side of things. Again, well, he's an experienced pro. He's 25-12. He's a bit younger. I think he's 32 years old. As I mentioned, he's a bit shorter as well. He comes in off a loss as well. He had the unanimous decision loss against Rojas Jr. Back in September of 2024, making him 3-4 in the UFC. Now, as I said, 2024, the guy hasn't fought in over a year now, just over a year. So we'll see if the ring rust comes into play here. He's a very compact fighter. He's got a lot of muscle on a stocky frame. I say a stocky frame. He's a couple inches shorter, but I think he's going to look like the more muscular guy there, where you got Gibson, who's probably going to be looking a little more lanky. Either way, Aoriqileng, he's a well-rounded fighter. He would prefer striking, but he's very durable, and he's managed to get himself a lot of fights that go to the judges. Normally I would looking at these guys' records. Normally, I would think this one would go to the judges. However, I think the styles being as similar as they are in this one, I think we're going to see a pretty exciting matchup. We're going to see probably who's going to outstrike the other guy. I don't think we're going to see a lot of rolling on the mat. I think we're going to see fast-paced action. I think we're going to see a lot of strikes. Both fighters have showed they can give a beating, they can take a beating. Again, I don't see this one going to decision. I'm not sure which one's going to get it done. I've rolled 2 in a row on this same play. I'm going to roll a third one. We're going back to back to back. I'm going to roll with fight ends inside, or fight not to go to the distance at plus 120. I think somebody's getting somebody out of there. Just not sure which one at this point. I see that line's kind of bopping around both sides. But yeah, fight does not go the distance. Plus 120 is my play for this one. Looking to go 4 in a row and 3 on this particular play. So Mike's going to bring us to Fiorot and JJ, a Canadian fighter. Mike, how are you getting paid in this one?
Jeff, yeah, the battle of a Canadian here in Jasmine. Jasudavicius coming out of top team Niagara. So going to take a little trip across country, the other side of Canada, to go and battle for this one. I don't know if that'll affect the judges' scorecards or not, but Manon, Fiorot, going to be the contender in this one. And, I always look for the narratives in these fights and the kind of the style to kind of dominate the other. And, no shame in Fiorot's last loss out there. She was going against Shevchenko to try to get a belt. So she reached the upper echelons. And this is where you have to kind of question, what does the fighter do after they had the chance to fight for the belt and not attain it, right? Do they kind of just crumble and say, all right, my career's kind of over? Or do they kind of swirl around a little bit and then take a chance to reach back out there and grab that big shiny butterfly? And I think that's the case here with Fiorot. Yeah, JJ can go out there, and what are we going to see? Well, 2 things. You talked about size in your fight breakdown, Jeff. Look at the size difference between these 2 gals. And Fiorot comes into this thing. She's big. She's not afraid to use that size to her advantage. And when you look at JJ, she'll come forward. Not the biggest takedown fighter. I mean, she'll eventually try to go out there and squirrel one away. But at the end of the day, even if she does get a takedown, what's she going to do? You've got Fiorot who uses her range. She wants to go out there and she'll kind of mix it up. She'll smack you in the head, and then she'll take you to the mat. And when you get down there, that's a big girl on top, and it's going to be difficult for the wiggle and waggle to get out of that thing. I think the situation looks like this. We come into this fight, big price tag. We've talked about this before, almost a 2-1 favorite on the Fiorot side of things. So they're expecting her to go get it done. However, it's the WMMA. And the price tag in this one indicates that more than likely we see a huge price to the over 2.5 rounds, probably going to the judges' scorecard. I've seen JJ fight. I've seen her get some judges' decisions. I've also seen her go out there and do some submission dancing. But at the same time, I just think Fiorot's too much of a competition. I think the opportunity here is for Fiorot to go back out there and fight Shevchenko for the belt again. And it's going to come by expensive JJ and Jasudavicius trying to go out there and do the best that she can, but I think she'll fall short. Maybe it's a split decision, but I do think it's a decision bet that's out there. Fiorot priced at minus 130 for the decision spot. She goes back out there, reclaims her glory. The bigger fighter, the more active fighter, the bigger moments as well. So give me Fiorot, give me the minus 130, and give me a breakdown from Subhuman Gaucho on this curtain jerker.
All right. Well, great work, fellas. I listened to Jeff there. I'm recalling the great, sub numbers that we got on Blackshear against Cody Gibson not so long ago. I think the whole crew cashed on that. Big numbers. What a great memory. I love some Jasmine Jasudavicius, but I'm on the same side as Mike there. So I like the breakdown. I'm right with you. And moving on to the next WMMA fight here. Yeah, curtain jerker. Let's get right back to it here. I felt like I needed to start with a little bit of narrative, which is not really my style here, but I feel like it's kind of in play here. You got Wainara Lisboa coming in. She's a UFC veteran. I mean, neither of these girls have a ton of MMA experience, but she is the UFC veteran here. I would say slightly stronger, strength of competition, especially when you consider her combat sports career as a whole. Lisboa fought She fought the flyweight champion back in the day, Valentina Shevchenko. In fact, she did twice. She fought her in Muay Thai and she fought her in kickboxing. She lost both times, but still, a decent level of competition. I mean, she's fought Norman Dumont back in the day. There's some things to like about Lisboa, but all that said, we're just coming off of this UFC Rio card. UFC, they could have placed Lisboa on that card. She is, of course, a Brazilian national. They could have placed her down there in the capital, but instead, they flew her all the way up to the Great White North here in Canada so that she could take on none other than this debutante, Melissa Croden. If you're not too familiar with Melissa Croden, she is of course, a Canadian national. Not only is she a Canadian national, she grew up right in Vancouver. She trains in this region. I think you could probably gather where I'm going here. I really like Croden in this spot. Croden opened as a big dog. Gave her out earlier this week. Really like her in this spot. As I said, 34 years old on each side, but Lisboa, I feel like this girl has been through the ringer. If you look back at that Valentina Shevchenko spot that I was talking about, that was back when Lisboa was 19 years old. She is now 34 years old. There's a lot of tread on these tires, and not only is there a lot of tread on these tires, she's also coming off of a long layoff where she had multiple knee surgeries in the interim. She came back. She did not look good. Melissa Croden's a girl that I'm pretty familiar with. Jeff, MMA Jeff, and I, we both watch a awful lot of LFA. Melissa Croden's been in LFA for a while now. She's done pretty well. She did take a loss there against a UFC veteran in Jacqueline Cavalcante. Jacqueline Cavalcante is coming in to the UFC at 4-0, undefeated in the UFC. And one of the things I really like about Croden is her pace and her cardio. I think when it comes to this striking in this fight, I think Lisboa can hang. She's very clean. She's got a lot of good techniques. Croden's kind of more of a karate style striker, where Lisboa is maybe a little bit more of a, I guess you would call it a Muay Thai striker. But I think when you look on the whole, Croden's got a lot going for her here. She can punch her way and kick her way into the clinch. And when she gets in the clinch, she's very nasty there. This is a mean woman. And unlike Lisboa, she doesn't have the sort of tread on her tires. She's been a professional for some time now, but she hasn't taken the sort of injuries. She hasn't taken the sort of damage. And when Lisboa punches her way into that clinch, I think she's going to have an awful lot of success there. Same age, as I mentioned, but there's going to be a speed difference here, I think, in favor of Croden. There's going to be a very clear strength advantage in the by the way of Croden. And I think Melissa's scared Croden here. Once she gets into that clinch and once she starts to really get her game going, I think she can melt Lisboa here. Lisboa's talked about retirement in the past. I think that Croden's going to get her up against the fence over the course of this fight. I think she's going to do a lot of damage there. Eventually, I think that Croden is going to get on top. And this might be a hot take. I think Croden is going to finish Lisboa on the back half of this fight here. There's a reason they put this way up in Canada for this debutante. And it's not because they want to get Lisboa over. It's because they want to get the debutante in Melissa Croden over in front of her home crowd. Give me Melissa Croden, give me the Canuck in her backyard in front of her hometown fans, and super secret bet here. Don't tell anybody. This is between me and you. Melissa Croden is going to finish this fight by round and pound in round 3. That's going to be my prediction. You can get a big number on that. Look over at FanDuel, you Dutch 2 and 3 for Croden. You can get nearly 6-1. You take Melissa Croden to finish by KO in rounds 2 or 3. You can get plus 950. That's going to be a place that's going to get a lot of my money here. I think this is Croden's spot. Give me the Canadian up there in Vancouver. Can't wait for this one. See you guys Saturday.
Great job, gentlemen. And we are on our way for UFC Vancouver. There's the 3-fight breakdown. I told you guys, if you parlay these together, you're going to catch around a 7-1. The boys have been running hot. We've been doing the research. We're starting to pay the dividends. And hey, don't look now. Fourth quarter of the year. This is a big move for the UFC. What happens is they start turning the card over, getting ready. They got their UFC, DWCS guys in there. And this is when we have shined. Last year, we crushed the fourth quarter. And it's just starting. So stay tuned with us at Sports Money MMA. Jeff, tell them what's going on and where they can find you.
You can find me over at X and Winnable MMA Jeff 19. You can always find me floating around the Sports Money Network. And good luck this weekend, everybody.
Subhuman Gaucho, tell them what's up and where they can find you.
Yeah, as always, twitter.com, Subhuman Gaucho with 2 O's. And you can find me at winnable.com/subclub. Everybody has their ups and downs. I've certainly had my skids, but this October has been an amazing month. We're up over 40 units, and we're barely 2 weeks in. So, lock in. I'm looking forward to this Vancouver card. And we've got a lot besides that with regards to combat sports. So,
good stuff, you guys. Enjoy the video. Smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment with your favorite fight of the night. If you're going to tail us or fade us, just let us know what it is you're doing so we can shout you guys out when we get there live. And don't forget to tune in on the live stream Saturday. We'll kick off around 3:45-ish for the 4 p.m. start. So good luck, everybody. Happy fight week. And we'll see you guys back here next week on Wednesday. First Strike from Sports Money.